And what we have
Hello everyone, this is Pam Hemphill down here in the worldwide walk for
Okay, before we
freedom.
get started, though, we want to take a moment, and our friend Teresa Fitz is going to give us a reading and a prayer. So let's bring God in.
Okay, this prayer is based on the writings of Ezra Taft Benson, who wrote, "The history of nations shows that the cycle of the body politic slowly but surely undergoes change. It progresses from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to courage, from courage to freedom, from freedom to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to complacency, from complacency to apathy, from apathy to fear, from fear to dependency, from dependency to bondage. Dear God, we pray today that more of our fellow humans can move from apathy, fear, and dependency and bondage to faith, courage, and freedom. Amen."
Amen.
Praise God. Woo! All right, everybody. I'm just going to quickly introduce us, who we are. My name is Sherry Gorell, and we have a group that came together. We are friends and family, and we started with 5 people in the backyard of Juliana's house, talking about all the crazy going on last April and going, what do you know? What do you know? Oh my God, we weren't even supposed to be meeting, or we would have gotten sent to jail or something. So the next thing you know, 5 people is now 140 people of just friends. And we're so happy you're here and to join us. So what I would like us to do is quickly introduce, and I want to say, I've never done this before, so if it doesn't show.
Me either.
Yeah, Dave, okay. So we are, Juliana, you have that safe up. So we are what we call the SAFE family. And that stands for sovereign, awake, free, and empowered. All right. You guys, I want everybody to say that, because that is who and what we are. And just follow me. We are safe. We are awake. We are free. And we are empowered. Amen.
Amen.
Our intention for this peaceful rally is to share the truth, build community, and take action. And basically own our freedom. Yes? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to have us just quickly, I'm going to point out some people that kind of been key in putting this together. And I'd like us just to give our name, our profession, and are you a mom, a dad, a grandma, a grandpa? Because we are the people. We're not politicians. We are who we all are. So, sovereign, yeah. Okay, my name is Sherry Gorell. I'm a retired mediator, facilitator. I own the guest house, pink guest house behind the Capitol building. And I am a mom and a grandma, almost. My daughter is pregnant with twins. So yay, Ra. Dave?
Yeah. My name's Dave Meisner. I'm a health actuary, software developer. I came to this group about a year ago, wasn't it? Yeah. And so I've been helping out with a lot of technical things. I also try and be a rock star on the side, so I have a little music equipment and PA to share with people. And so I kind of help put that together, but I'm just happy to see so many smiling faces. I don't see one mask in this whole park, I don't think. And welcome, everybody.
Hi, I'm Juliana Plater, not Benner anymore because I'm divorced soon. Yay! He's wearing his mask right now. I'm a natural health practitioner, so I am owning and walking my truth, right? I woke up in April after spraying everything with toxic chemicals and probably was the first person wearing a mask in the co-op because, you know, I was thinking Ebola, blood coming out everywhere. But I just woke up and God woke me up, actually, and I am so just thrilled to see all of you because you are my family. I have 2 kids who are in their 20s, and I kind of wish the COVID had happened 10 years ago so they were still in my loving, protective arms, because both of them got this shot, which is pure evil, and I'm praying for them and all of the people who are getting this because they are victims. And so I do believe, though, what I do and what David DeHaas, who's going to speak, do, we are detoxification specialists. So if you need some help, we have ways to help you getting the toxic waste out. So please look at my brochure here on the table, and my name was Benner, so if you get confused, it's Juliana Benner Plater. But welcome everybody, and who's next to speak?
All right. Hey sister. Miss Leslie, come on down. A little river.
A little river. I'm Leslie Smith, and I have 2 children, Hawken, who's 4, running around somewhere, and Miss River, who's 9 months. And gosh, I've known these women for over a decade, and when I learned about the Safe Family, I definitely knew that I needed to join. And I think right now, more than ever, we need community. We need to stand together, we need to come together and find our people, because it's this small group here that's going to make the biggest changes. And so I'm just so very, very grateful. And we do have some spin-off groups doing different things. If you're interested, track me down. We have women's circles happening every single month, which are amazing opportunities to go deep into your own internal healing and self-realization. We also are doing potlucks with the Safe Family at least once a month to gather and talk about taking action and different things like organizing this event. There's one more thing I wanted to mention. Robert David Steele is coming to town, which I'm sure someone will talk more about, but that's happening on
Big Bat Tour.
the Big Bat Tour is happening the 22nd and 23rd of June. That's going to be with Sasha Stone and Robert David Steele, so that's going to be amazing. Yes, and Dr. Christine Northrup. There's going to be quite a lineup, so we're blessed that they're coming to Boise to, come share their knowledge.
We don't know yet. Destination will be...
Sign the form here, and we'll send out emails about all these events.
If you're not on the safe group, we'll get, and then find one of us if you want to become a part of the safe group.
Yeah, track one of us down.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I want to mention is we have an inquiry-based learning group as well. So for those that do have children, maybe some of you have your kids in school and you're looking to pull them out. Maybe you knew you always wanted to homeschool or unschool. We have some experts here. Jeremy's around, Kim are around. They unschooled their 16-year-old daughter. They have 2 documentaries available on Amazon. So you can learn more about that. But we are an intentional community looking to, with these breakout groups, to facilitate the new earth that we want to create, the new reality that we want to create. Because we can shine the light on the darkness and the evil all day long, but unless we're doing something to bring the light, to make manifest the beautiful light and the vision that we are creating, then nothing's ever going to change. So please join us, join these breakout groups, and let's make something really beautiful.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thanks, Leslie.
Rock on. Miss Monica.
Hi everyone, my name is Monica Ricks, and I am part of the Safe Family, and I really just love being part of this group because a lot of us didn't even know each other even a month ago. I mean, I met Dave today, and yet he feels like family to me. So it's just been such a blessing being part of this group and being able to create the breakout groups that Leslie spoke about and see the reality that we want to see come to fruition, because we are sovereign and we are awake and we are free. and we are loving beings that deserve to embody all of that and live in a world that shows us that in return. So I really appreciate you all coming out today, and I am so grateful for everybody who helped put this together a week ago. And here we are, and this has been better than we could have imagined, so thank you.
Thanks, Monica.
And I just want to thank everybody that's a part of this group, because we've all participated. We do postings on our Telegram group that has helped keep everybody apprised as to what's really going on out there. Hi, Kelly Jean. So I'm going to go back over to with what our plan is for today. We're going to take about the next hour to, oh, look at this monkey back there. We are going to take the next hour or so to hear from us, the people. We want you to speak up. We want to hear what has been up for you since this whole pandemic started. However, before that, we do have a few speakers lined up on different topics that we've all dealt with over the last year. And once everyone has shared, we are going to go up Capitol Boulevard until about Front Street. We're going to loop back down 8th Street and come back. So that is what we're going to do, and we'd love to have you stay with us and do that as well. We've got extra signs if you don't have signs, and we just want our voices to be heard. So thank you. Now, what I'd like us to do for a moment is kind of go through a little process. I want everybody to feel the ground beneath your feet. I want you to take a deep breath and shut your eyes. And I want you to remember, what were you doing in February of 2020? Where were you? What were you thinking? Were you feeling safe or somewhat safe? Meanwhile, if you were feeling safe, did you realize we've been bombarded and have been bombarded with, for decades, chemtrails, geoengineering, food modification. Our water is full of fluoride, although thank God Boise's not as bad. And we have been hit with unbelievable pressures for our children to get vaccinated. And my understanding is that there are up to 70 vaccinations that by the time a child is 18, is that correct? They want them to take. So we thought we were safe, right? Open our eyes. Now let's skip on to March, about mid-March last year. All of a sudden, what happened in mid-March? And before that, what were we? Were we like frogs in the hot water? Do you guys know that metaphor? We were in that hot water, and it was getting turned up hotter and hotter and hotter. But what do? We change our diet, we do more green drinks, we do whatever we can to try to stay healthy. But meanwhile, we've been being poisoned. So now we go to March 2020, and we were told that a virus from a bat in Wuhan, China, had made its way around the world, and we would all have to isolate, social distance, that was a whole new term, stay 6 feet away from anyone, and eventually, of course, we wore masks. We didn't, many of us didn't, but a lot of other people did. Our lives and many of our livelihoods were shut down. We were afraid to go shopping. We were made to be afraid to go shopping. We were afraid to eat fresh food from the store. Did we have to sterilize it somehow? We were afraid to touch doorknobs. We were afraid to touch each other. I heard recently of a friend I know who did not see her boyfriend for a year because they were afraid to touch and be close to each other. Can you imagine? So depending on the news source you were watching, which again, we're all in choice, and you were being influenced one way or another. Did you watch mainstream media, including NPR and public radio? And or were you doing your own research? Were you going down the rabbit holes? Were you finding one rabbit hole led to another rabbit hole, and before you know it, you were finding things that were so disturbing and shocking that were going on in our city, our state, our country, and our world? Child sacrifice, pedophilia, satanic worship, blood drinking. I hate to mention these things, but I mean sick stuff that is going on and no one was talking about it. So as we went down that, and that shock and disbelief hit us, many of us were on social media and we started asking questions, even about the mask. Like, a mask? It doesn't even protect. It says on the box it doesn't protect you, right? Did anybody read that box? Did anybody see that there are actually squiggly little worms in those blue masks?
Yeah.
And Dave, what's your understanding?
There's been
Made in China.
I've seen that story corroborated by some accredited doctors that looked at it under a microscope, and there's little nanoworms that are activated, little black nanoworms that are activated when the mask gets hot and humid and wet. And not only is that contamination in these masks, it's also they're finding, and I've only seen this in one place, but one place I was looking at, they're finding it in babies' diapers, anything that's fibrous like that. So I don't know if that's an intentional thing or if that's just something that, because of the poor hygiene of where they're being produced, is causing that.
Yeah. Totally disgusting. Every time I see somebody in a blue mask, I just want to say, do you know? Do you have any idea? So as we were on social media, and we now know what Facebook was doing, how they were manipulating, attacking.
Basically censoring anytime anyone got near a opinion with facts, actual facts to back it up, that was contrary to the narrative of big pharma and big tech and the government. You were gone. You're Not only that, the other thing they're doing to people, I think we're all probably aware of, is Google has altered all the search algorithms. So if you go in and try, 15 years ago when I first started becoming awake and researching this stuff, and I'd search on what are the dangers of vaccines, I'd come up with Dr. Tenpenny, and I'd see a lot of good information on people that were actually researching vaccines. Now when you do it, all you get is you search that term, all you get is a bunch of clickbait with people trying to destroy the truth and give you a bunch of baloney that's not even backed up by any references or links to any references. It's crazy, but that's how people are being manipulated, and that's what we need to help overcome, make people aware of.
Oh yeah, Wikipedia.
Oh yeah, Wikipedia is
oh my gosh,
worst,
they're so YouTube, Snopes, obviously. What do they know? How did you guys notice your families were impacted? Your friends, good friends. I remember posting about the real science about masks, and I posted a picture of the mayor because she was prancing downtown trying to be a good example of what we should do with our masks. Wear them outside or in your car by yourself or out on the trail. Come on, really? I posted that and I'm like, what kind of a reference is she doing? Yeah, right? So I post that and I literally had dear friends call me a terrorist. A terrorist, because I was questioning that crazy narrative we were getting. So did you guys wonder too, when all this happened, why our government responded so quickly to the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak and seemed to know exactly what to do? How long did it take for our mayor and our city council to shut down businesses, have plastic plexiglass protection barriers put up at every grocery store, every gas station, every bank? Have you ever seen government do anything that fast? No.
They had all of those social distancing stickers and all of those mask required stickers and all of the plexiglass sitting in a warehouse waiting for this, because this has been planned for a very long time.
So Dave, why don't you tell us about Event 201? When was that and who was involved?
That was back in the fall of 2019, where a bunch of so-called health experts got together. I think the whole thing was funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yes.
Plus maybe John Hawkins. I'm not sure who else was involved in that. But it was almost to a T what happened to us. What they talked about in that event, and you can watch, I'm not sure where you find the event, but you can watch the movie Plandemic and Plandemic 2, and they talk about this.
Actually, you can just DuckDuckGo. You'll notice I didn't say Google.
Yeah.
DuckDuckGo Event 201,
Yeah.
and you will find the entire conference, their agenda, and who was there. It's not even hidden.
And here, one of the ironic things is you can go watch a video of Bill Gates after the pandemic started in early 2020, coming on TV and saying, well, no one could have imagined this was going to happen. How could anybody have imagined we'd have this pandemic of coronavirus? And he's the crook that put the whole thing together.
Dang it. Okay, you guys, we have a little bit more to say, but we do have one speaker who has to leave. So we're going to see if Vicki can give us some insight, and then we're going to get back onto what we were talking about. And I'm going to do a quick introduction, Vicki, and then you can add too. And this is Vicki Purdy. She is an Awake Adams County Commissioner. Misty Carlfeld connected us. And she is here to talk to us briefly about the role of our district health departments and what she is doing to put the decision-making power back where it belongs with us, the people. All right, let's give her a big...
Thank you, and thanks for inviting me, and thanks for all the people that helped me get this resolution passed. It was a huge deal, and I think it's going to have some future effects. So just a couple things. When all this started, like a lot of you, I was also doing research. I had actually just gotten back from Washington, D.C. With the National Association of Counties meetings where there was a couple thousand people. President Trump came and spoke to us. I did learn an interesting fact that county government, there are 7 layers of government. And that's kind of the problem we have with the health districts right now. They're crossing those boundaries. So county government is one of the last bastions of very conservative, very liberty, freedom-minded, oriented government. And so it's really important that we stay in touch with our county commissioners, build relationships with them, and make sure that they are in control of their county. So when all this first started, some of the red flags for me were, first of all, Tedros. If you look him up, he has a pretty bad history. Terrorist is used for, in his aim, genocide, those sort of things. The second thing that was really a flash of red light was Neil Ferguson. So Neil Ferguson is the modeler, and he works for the London Imperial College. Neil Ferguson is the same guy that did the modeling for hoof and mouth disease and for mad cow disease. Neither one of those diseases bear out the fruit that he said they would, whereas I shouldn't say fruit, it was horrible. His predictions were horrible, but they did kill and slaughter millions and millions of cattle, and they did an immeasurable damage to the cattle industry. I'm a retired dairy farmer, so that's how I knew that. We didn't, but some legislators tried to pass some more rules and laws that would have been devastating to small agriculture and small farms, which we milked about 100 cows and we had a beautiful place. And so anyhow, I fought that legislation and we got that killed. So I just want you guys all to know it. Sometimes it just takes one person, but in this case, it's going to take a lot of people because the motion is in place and it's not pretty where we're going, and we have to stop it, and we have to stand up, and we have to take back our rights and make sure that that our friends and family are taken care of. So one of the things else that happened was the CDC changed the protocol for coroners for death certificates, greatly inflating the people that actually didn't die from COVID, but actually died from 4 or more comorbidities. They were saying 2, but this last week they've come out with it saying it's 4. So the actual death rate from COVID, which is still devastating, is I believe about 5%, and that's in the entire country. So anyway, one of the things that Samuel Adams said was, in the case of emergency, follow the law. Well, so we have we have an Idaho State emergency plan, and then we have emergency plans in our county, and then we have emergency plans in the health district. None of those plans were followed. And I just want to give you a little bit of some numbers here. So a moderate pandemic would be a 25% attack rate. And this is a brand new Idaho State emergency plan that was signed in 2019, December of 2019, right before all this started. So 25% attack rate, 1.5% fatality rate, equaling 432,680 illnesses and 6,490 deaths. After 1 year, we are not even in the moderate range of attack rate. A positive case ratio is 22.1%. Fatality rate is 1.03%. 157,000 illnesses, short by 275,092 illnesses, and the deaths are 1,635. I haven't updated that in a few weeks, so these are my numbers as of a few weeks ago. But so what I decided to do was, we were constantly getting calls, and the county commissioners, and we were getting people just like you, no masks, no social distancing. People couldn't open up their businesses, and it was just going on and on and on, and nothing seemed to be moving forward. We went from 2 to 3 to 3 to 2, whatever. So the first thing I finally started doing was questioning the rating system back in January. So if we have this emergency plan, the rating system is way off base and it doesn't work. If you had 2 cases of COVID in Owyhee County, one of the biggest counties in the state of Idaho, that Owyhee County was red. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. So with us doing some research on the Idaho State Emergency Plan, we finally got the emergency plan, it's 2 months ago, basically eliminated. It went down to almost nothing. And then, unfortunately, our health director put on the website that even though we didn't have the emergency plan, thank you, that she had on there that we would also continue to follow the governor's orders and refer to CDC guidance and recommendations when providing education and consultation to the public. So that didn't really follow what the board was wanting the message the board was wanting us to project. So it just keeps getting worse, and I wrote a short comment for a paper that was trying to do some research on whether or not they could have an event. And so this is what I wrote, because this is how confusing it is. Being a member of the Southwest District Health Board, I also find far too much bureaucratic confusion. There are more agencies involved than events at a rodeo, and completely without the fun. Event organizers are to take their valuable time to present plans that aren't needed or looked at unless you want an exemption for something you don't need an exemption for. It is time citizens and local elected officials take back control. I believe all involved have worked patiently with the state for over a year. Summer events are being planned now. So, according to the governor's metrics stated a year ago, the pandemic has already ended. It's up to local elected officials and citizens to stop the madness and find some balance again. So then the next thing is I had a group of businessmen come to me and ask me about their summer events. And so rodeos, God & Country in Nampa, and they wanted to have their summer events and they wanted full venues, and they certainly should be able to have full venues because according to the board of Southwest District Health and according to the Idaho State Emergency Plans, we aren't in an emergency anymore, and the board has never mandated anything. We have never done any of that. So I wrote this resolution and finally got it passed with the help from a lot of people because it took a little bit of while. There was some resistance, I should say. So this resolution is resolution of the Board of Health of Southwest District Health of the state of Idaho rejecting infringement upon the rights of the citizens of the district. And I won't read all of it. I'll just read the last part of it. So that the Board of Southwest District Health opposes any and all efforts to infringe upon the rights of citizens of the district to enjoy life, liberty, to pursue happiness, and to peaceably assemble. And that the Board of Southwest District Health hereby declares their unequivocal faith and confidence in the citizens of the district to make responsible decisions concerning their own health and safety, and that the Board of Southwest District Health will not infringe upon the rights of the citizens of the district by imposing any restrictions or requirements on those citizens regarding their peaceable assembly or their daily lives, including but not limited to physical distancing, occupancy, and attendance limitations, vaccinations and gene therapy, vaccination documentation, or mask wearing that are in any way related to SARS-CoV-2. So, we had a couple of board members, one in particular who is a really great guy. And what he was really upset about is we kept having people come to the board and to the meetings and testify about how they were being affected by the masks, about how they were being affected by the social distancing, about their businesses. And he kept saying, but we're not doing any of this. We're not mandating any of this. And we weren't. We never did. But that wasn't the message that was coming from the employees of the Southwest District Health when they were getting the phone calls from the schools and from the businesses or the event planners. So I kept saying, let's get this passed, and this is a clear message from the board and gives clear guidance to our employees at Southwest District Health. So we got that passed last Tuesday, and we ended up having to have an emergency meeting to get it done. But it is passed now, and I think everybody, you just need to embrace it and pass it around. I sent it as of yesterday, every commissioner except the commissioners in our district because they already have it. I sent it to every commissioner in the state of Idaho, and I'm hoping that they will take it and change it, use it however they want to do that. But this is something that people seem to forget. So this is part of the letter that I sent to all the commissioners. The damage done to our citizenry caused by masking, distancing, isolation, school closures, and gathering size restrictions are immeasurable. They are proving to be far worse than those caused by COVID itself. Consider that, short of the death penalty, solitary confinement may be the worst punishment that can be imposed upon a prisoner. Solitary confinement was foisted upon countless innocent citizens and most egregiously upon our seniors. This Independence Day, we will celebrate 245 years since we were blessed with our Declaration of Independence. That timeless charter that freed Americans from the tyranny of Great Britain. I am honored to have received the unanimous support of the Southwest District Health Board in passing this resolution. It is truly historical when a government body repudiates its own power and instead recognizes the superseding authority and the rights of the citizens it serves. Adoption of this resolution was, in my mind, truly a 1776 moment. And there are too many people that we have elected that seem to think that we can't run and handle our own lives, that we can't be responsible for whether or not our children get a vaccine, whether they wear a mask or whether they don't. And those folks, we need to build relationships with them, and we need to replace them if they aren't willing to work with us and understand that we have rights. I appreciate the fact that there are people that are really scared of COVID. Unfortunately, they probably need to do a little bit more research. It is 99.98% recoverable. So I've never had it, and I've never worn a mask. So I feel pretty good about that. And one thing about Idaho is we're kind of social distancing as a rule. That's the way we live. We don't usually live on top of each other. I know there's a lot more people moving here, and they are welcome as long as they don't change us. We're all good. Thank you.
God bless her. What a wonderful lady.
Can I give you a hug?
I'm going to end this video and maybe do part 2.
Thank you, Vicki. Yay, awesome.
Share
You
this
guys,
video.
let's hope that Vicki, let's
Subscribe.
demand that Vicki's
And like.
energy ripples out to the rest of the commissioners out around this state.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you, Vicki. Woo!
Okay. Wasn't that wonderful?
Okay, guys,
bless
the
America.
next speaker that we have up is, where is he, Luke? Here he is.